So here we are with the third division. We have Ballista Noobs versus Karambite me. And the map is Land Madness. So it's exactly what it sounds like, an open land map with difficult walling because you can't build anything on this great terrain here. So it generally favors mobile civs, not necessarily archers play here, but rather cavalry archers and scouts and knights play here. So let's have a chat about the teams here. They're using the team colors, so we'll be going to the green player first, Dougzilla, who is on Karambite me, playing in the pocket position as Franks. Franks an ever solid pocket civilization, and considering that there are extra berries on Land Madness, I'd love Franks as a pick, no matter what. Because, yeah, Frank's forage berries faster, you would absolutely be justified to mill the second berries and take the one right next to your TC, and you're looking at some good Dark Age food economy. Great mobile civilization, Franks, as well. They are, they have the strongest scouts opening in the game with 20% extra hit points once they reach the feudal age, and, yeah, have an early power spike there. Now for the flank, we have Joe Schmo with the Vietnamese flank. So it's an archer, anti-archer, archer civ would say. Their archer range units have more HP overall. And as we can see, the civilization bonus for Vietnamese is knowing the enemy locations. So they will know that they are up against a Khmer flank, a Magyar's pocket, and a Vikings flank on the other side. So Vietnamese could still open scouts. I mean, any civ except for the meso civs could go scouts, but obviously for Vietnamese, with rather short distance to the other flank, you would it would be justified to go for infantry into archers play as well. Say rush or men at arms could work, although less mobile overall. Also, since there's only one boar on this map and you'd have to extend to the extra hunt or the extra berries, these standard build orders are a little bit tougher to pull off. I think this map favors scouts play more because of the food disposition on the map as well. But we'll see what the players end up doing here. For the right hand side, we have Mayans for cloth-wearing dandy here. So they are going for the traditional archers flanks civilization on both sides here. Mayans obviously have the mobility potential for raids with the eagles as well. We might even see straight eagles here from cloth-wearing dandy, luring the ibex like a pro here as well for some extended food income. So that's a good call as well to get even a little bit more food into the bank, but it's not really being hit here. I'm not sure what's going on. Two villagers just idling there, but there we go, getting the ibex. So Mayans also likely to go into maybe an infantry style opening into archers, and to hit the other flank here, which is Vikings. Again, I see classifies as an infantry civilization, but they have great archers as well, fully upgraded arbalists. Their unique unit, the Berserker from the castle, actually has some raiding potential to them as well, and it's also a good counter to Eagle Warriors with their a little bit being a little bit faster than the champions line. So certainly an option for the Vikings should it come to the late game here. But I'd expect archers, maybe some kind of men-at-arms, rush opening, something like that. You see the barracks is up here for Joe Schmo on the left-hand side and militia going forward, so it is indeed the direct approach here with militia being made before the feudal age click. In the pocket position for... what do they say here? Is it Ballista Noobs, or what do they say? I think it is. I need to double check. It is indeed. So serious AOE in the pocket position with Magyars. Great mobile sim with instant melee upgrades from the blacksmith upon reaching the next stage. Some of the best cavalry archers in the game as well, with some good raiding potential right there. And finally, Anuri on the left side flank with the Khmer. I like the Khmer pick for For land madness, you can hide inside the houses as Khmer, so that's going to come in handy if you get raided. So a little bit of idle time cost here already. We have Dugzila's initial scout helping out here with Jon Snow's early rush. So they're not too uncommon practice with the Dark Age opening, like the rush to actually have your teammates help out. Sirius is coming in here to maybe take a fight against scouts, and once Fuel Age kicks in, they're also going to have that +1 instantly. So that's going to be an easier fight once Fuel Age kicks in. However, Dugzilla is here with Frank Scout as well, so a little bit more HP. I'm not sure what would win of 1 extra attack and extra HP though. Probably the extra attack actually, because you get 1 more damage per hit. Oh, Garrison. And react. Go into the house. That's why you had a house there. Perfect. Good reaction by Anuri there to Garrison the Villager with a minimum wild time. So, excuse me. Once the scout is away, they pull the Villager back out to collect wood. I like that call from Anuri. Joshua with 25 villagers now committing to that extended Dark Age, but if they can keep up the aggression and cause some discomfort on this side, that is going to pay off with an earlier Castle Age against the Khmer player here, and the damage is certainly being dealt. Some farms now going up instead of taking the berries over here. I'm not sure what the Khmer player is up to here, but there are scouts in production, and once the scouts numbers have reached critical mass, you could clean up the drush as well. This is too few villagers, unfortunately, to take a fight against these 3 militia. We seem to have some action on the other side as well. A rush approach from the Mayans player as well, as suspected, going into infantry, into archers play, but not rush, of course, but men-at-arms from the Mayans player. Snowman battering away at the quick walls here. I'm going to render at least 2 wood choppers idle there, so that's 2 villagers idle for repairs and wood going into repairs already. And now moving around to find some other place to hit, maybe hit the gold, for example, to prevent the Vikings player from getting to the archers. I don't see a range yet though, but there's something forward from Tyranny as well. Mirrored approach here, men-at-arms on both sides from both Vikings and Mayans. Good preemptive walling from both players as well. To risk a minimum damage, but Kulot wearing Dandy 1 step ahead here with 2 ranges up to deal with. So once the archers are out, the men-at-arms aren't a threat anymore. They need to pay attention to the woodland though, and here's the palisade to keep that aggression out. So yeah, men-at-arms on both sides here. We have something happening in the middle as well, it seems. No? I saw a flare. They were probably just flaring the pocket's location then. So the men-at-arms, they won't reach the woodline, but now there's a mill on the berries here, so if Tyranny is paying attention, they could go back and punish the food eco instead. You do want to hit either the gold or the woodline though, when you're going up against an archer's player, because you want to not necessarily impair their TC and food production, but their ability to mass archers. But the first archer is out, and Tyranny isn't quite reacting to those archers hitting the men-at-arms, so they might be going down. Repairs just in time there for Kulot wearing Dandy as well. Meanwhile, we have some scouts forward here from Anuri on Joe Schmo here. Finds a hole in the woodland, but only 1 scout though. Another one went down here, so the damage output is limited here. We see the villager count is pretty even here as well, but military from Kulot wearing Dandy on the right hand side, and then from Sirius from the pocket with what I assume is mainly scouts are leading the numbers department here. Luxila finds some stray villagers here of Anuri and takes the villager count down a bit from the purple player. Where is Sirius's army though? Okay, it's green against yellow in the middle. That's a bit tough to see on the minimap actually. Great quick walls from Dugzilla though to keep this out. Men-at-arms seem to have been dealt with on Tyranny's side as well. So far the players don't seem too uneven. I'd see the the even-numbered team here with slightly better military production, maybe. At least from the pocket position, but I think that's mainly defensive spearmen from Duxila making the difference here. So pockets hitting each other, Frank's scouts on the Magyar side, but there are spearmen here to keep them out. Sirius going to gold now as well with a very healthy farm eco here, and might be looking at that cast age click in not too long. Let's see Duxila though with a bit fewer farms, but they are Frank farms. They get those farm upgrades immediately. Does have roughly the same food count actually. But all in all, it looks like Karambite me in the odd colors here are in a better spot in terms of collected villagers here. They have had some good, consistent villager production overall, maybe losing less overall, and at least 2 of them producing army. We see Duxila not really producing much at the moment, probably thinking about that cast age transition to drop some more farms, extend the food economy, and set up for what will and can be nothing else than double stable knights from the Franks player. That is mostly the go-to as a Franks pocket. So archers forward now for Joe Schmo, the Vietnamese player, forces a lot of idle time on Yuri here. Look at the idles, 31 villagers, 9 idle. Let's see how much army they have though. They only have 2 military, but with some enough scouts, 1 isn't nearly enough. You need, yeah, 3 scouts could do it here. This is just a small group of archers. But here comes the other ones though to collect for Joe Schmo with a collected 10 military forward, 2 spearmen in the mix. That should be the end of the scouts of Anuri, unfortunately. Now currently they have a smoother transition to the Castle Age, so once there's food and gold in the bank for Anuri here, they could just kick up, but they're being severely idled at the moment, not bringing in wood, and still lacking 300 food for that next age click up. Very limited scouting intel from Anuri as well, having been forced to stay on the defensive the whole time here. Defensive tower on the goal, I like that when you're on your own against archers on the flank, you want to protect your gold. I would say though that ideally it should be even closer to the gold, so that the archers cannot camp this hill, which in this case they can with their range. The tower has 8 range, so if you sit the archers on the hill here, you're still able to hit the gold. So what's going on the right hand side? A huge mass of archers for Culot Wearing Dandy here. Has fletching in, but it's actually an even bigger mass for Tyranny here with the Vikings. Vikings get wheelbarrow and handcart instantly upon reaching the next age. You also see the pockets going up to the next stage here, and surprisingly so, serious AoE with the Magyars and no direct eco bonus is going to be the first one to the Castle Age by far here. You see immediate +2 defense and double stable production here for serious AoE, so their eco setup seems very solid for Magyars and double stables production here. TC on the gold as well, pretty close to the other one, so this gold will be both these golds somewhat secured, at least against Archer's Fire. We do have Culot Wearing Dandy on the forward though. This might force Tyranny's armies back, because there's not nearly enough army for Tyranny here to hold this off. Defensive tower on the goal though should keep the archers off the goal, but villagers falling left and right here still. So good forward by Culot Wearing Dandy. These archers do need more here, Tyranny, to take the fight. This is maybe buying Tyranny some time, but still looking at the development here, not too pretty. And it also forces the whole mass of archers of Tyranny back. Culot Wearing Dandy will be losing lots of numbers now before going to the Castle Age though. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I lost quite a few there. KD 22 to 21. So Tyranny all in all losing less numbers, but maybe losing more villagers as well. Look at the numbers here. 39 villagers for Culot Wearing Dandy. 26 for Tyranny. If it had been only 4 villagers difference, it would be a different story for Vikings with the instant wheelbarrow. But with so many, it's definitely Culot Wearing Dandy in a better spot here. Oh, sorry about that. So we have Knights from Sirius here cleaning up the forward of the Feudal Age Archers of Joe Schmo here. Joe Schmo with 18 military. I'd assume most of it is in their home base by now. Still in the Feudal Age though. Should not be going forward now with these kinds of numbers. At least not without help from Dugzilla's units. But look at the upgrades here for Dugzilla and the Franks here with +1/+1. Whereas the Magyars player is already at +2/+2. Obviously melee upgrades kick in instantly, so it's easier to focus on defense earlier, but still a situation where serious AoE can take fights. Well, the Castle Age kicking in for most of the players. Joe Schmo with that rush opening surprisingly late to the Castle Age here, but 50 villagers to back it should have a very solid economy going into the Castle Age after all. Decent military numbers as well, 24. And overall military numbers for Joe Schmo's team looking pretty good here actually. We have Annery on the Khmer flank having been completely incapacitated here. This town center, I don't quite understand the choice here. Could be to protect some future farms. It's even going to be denied by Joe Schmo here with the archers soon to be crossbows. But when you place a town center, always place it next to some resources. Next to a stone, next to a gold, next to a woodline if you can. That's not an option here. But in general, keep them closer to the resources. Like here, I guess this is okay. That was pretty close to the berries. But generally speaking, just have it right next to any resource you feel the need to focus on. So some fights on the right hand side here, Knights versus Knights. Still the upgrades though, look at the Franks player here with 10+1. We have Magyars with husbandry, bloodlines as well. So the HP is the same, but the Franks are lacking that +2 attack, and good choice actually by Dugzilla now to pull away. This isn't a fight they can win, it's roughly equal numbers here, and well, it's 9 against 9. And but more attack output for the Magyars. Magyars will always have those attack upgrades in earlier anyway. Here comes Joe Schmo to coordinate with Dugzilla though, and then it's a different story, because then you could use the Knights of Dugzilla to fight with Sirius's Knight in front, and you could have the crossbows behind to get some shots in. So it's a 2v1 coordination on this side. They really should stay together though. This is just begging to be hit for Joe Schmo here by Sirius's Knights, but Sirius doesn't take the engagement, so surprisingly enough. Tyranny with the strong forward crossbows forward here now, evening out the villager numbers. It's still 36 to 50 though, but Tyranny with actually more military overall than Culot Wearing Dandy here. Culot Wearing Dandy has the university though, so they will have ballistics, but that's the case for Tyranny as well. Where is Culot Wearing Dandy's army though? They're here on the hill, okay. So, coordinated efforts here on Sirius, the pocket, falling under heavy pressure. Huge deal being Undery being pretty far behind though. GG getting censored by Joe Schmo for some reason. And that's it. It will be will be elite. Well, they say not elite to tuning despite I'm looking at. Sorry about having to check the team names all the time, but it's just so hard to remember so many different teams. It's Kudos Very Dandy is on Karambite Me's team, and it's Karambite Me taking the Land Menace win here. So let's have a look at the stats. We'll be moving on to the second division soon. I'm just going to have to take a quick break. But first to look at the stats. Uxila with Frank's economy here. Great eco setup for the Frank's player. Eventually leading their team to the win with coordinated effort with Joe Schmo on the pocket here. Also on the flank earlier on. The uptimes, great scouts uptime here, must have been like 18 or 19 pop or so, 19 pop maybe. And Sirius also with a very solid scouts build there. So these players know their build orders and executed them very nicely. We could say the same about the rushes and men at arms on the sides as well. Seemed like they had a good grasp of the build orders. Just one more villager for Duxilas. The pockets were doing great jobs on either side, but Sirius losing Anri on the left-hand side was a big deal. It may not have been completely over, because Anri still had a healthy villager count, but I guess the military department is what changed everything here. Anri not really able to provide for a while.